Hey, Planeswalkers, Mythras here. Hope you're doing well and staying safe. Today, I got a fun top deck hailing to us from the Platinum to Mythic. This one's got a nice special Zendikar Rising treat to it as well. So, Planeswalkers, we're going to talk about the main board. We'll talk about the sideboard. We'll pull those both together for our best of 3 how-to, and then we'll go play some competitive Magic today in both best of 1 and best of 3 for you. So pretty excited about that, but before we go check this deck out, as always, I just want to say a big thank you. I truly appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on daily content like this. Additionally, Planeswalkers, my Untapped profile is down below if you want to follow my Mythic journey. Additionally, I have the companion app down there for you as well. And last but not least, other ways to support the channel are down below in the details. You can become a patron. Very, very much appreciate those pledges, or feel free to become a member as well onto the YouTube channel. So, Planeswalkers, let's go ahead and check out this deck. We have a top Azorius Party deck. Yes, that is right. So we are going back to the party mechanic today in Zendikar Rising. I'm very excited about this one because we have ran one other party deck previously. That one was Orzhov. This time we got Azorius. And I think we got a few more things that we can do with this one, and I really, really like this deck build out. So, Planeswalkers, as always, this deck list is available for you down below in the description, so you do have access to it right away. Additionally, deck link is down there as well, or links as well for you if you appreciate that form instead. Now, quickly, Azorius is our plains and islands, or white and blue color schema, hailing to us from Ravnica. It is one of the guilds, and then additionally it is party, so Azorius Party because of the party mechanic. So for instance here, we'll take a look at Linvala. Party mechanic, your party consists of up to 1 each of cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard. So here, my friends, gotta love the D&D. My friends, when that happens, that gives us some sort of ability. So let's talk about Linvala, Shield of the Seagate here. It is a legendary creature. It's an angel wizard. Here it's got flying, and at the beginning of combat on our turn, if we have a full party, we get to choose target non-land permanent an opponent controls. Until our next turn, it can attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. And then we can always sacrifice Linvala, choose hexproof or indestructible for creatures we control, gain that ability till end of turn. Very, very powerful there. A very, very cool party mechanic as well. So very excited to be playing this deck. So my friends, this deck is really kind of a, I'll say mid-rangey, aggro-y / mid-rangey deck. We do have a majority of the stuff here in the 3 power and less, but we do have some ability here at the higher end as well. So it's probably going to be more so, again, aggro to mid-range type of play here. Now, we will talk about the deck in its totality here and go through each of these cards because there's a lot of cool nuances about it as well that you guys may be seeing and picking up on already. So quickly here, we'll do our fast flyby so you guys can see everything, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about each of these in their one-off as well, because it's going to be pretty important. And you'll notice here rather quickly there's some interesting, unique things going on there with the mana base. So first off, we got Archpriest of Iona. So here is a human cleric. Archpriest of Iona's power is equal to the number of creatures in our party at the beginning of combat on our turn. If we have a full party, target creature gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. We have concerted defense. So here we have an instant counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 1 plus an additional 1 for each creature in our party. So that's a really powerful slip there, so we can keep that in mind. Next, we got Overwhelmed Apprentice. So here, when it enters the battlefield, each opponent mills 2 cards, and we also get a scry 2. So this is really nice. We get a wizard and a cleric in our 1-drop slot, and additionally the ability to set a lot of things up here, which is going to be really, really helpful. Then we got Luminarch Aspirant. So here again, we have another cleric, but at the beginning of combat in our turn, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature we control. We got good old Seasoned Hallowblade here. So a human warrior, we can discard a card, and then we can tap Seasoned Hallowblade. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Now we have a Nimble Trap Finder here, also another blue card. This is a human rogue, so Nimble Trap Finder can't be blocked. If we had another cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard enter the battlefield this turn under our control, and at the beginning of combat on our turn, if we have a full party of creatures we control gain whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, we get to draw a card till end of turn. So a lot of refill going on. So this is huge. We got a lot happening here early on, and we also can hit within our 2-drop slots. We can hit our party, which is pretty impressive. Then we got good old Stonework Pack Beast here. So this is an artifact creature beast. It is also a cleric, a rogue, a warrior, and a wizard. And for 2, we can add 1 mana of any color if we need to do that as well. Then we got Glasspool Mimic. So this is one of the modal lands. We can have it enter the battlefield with a copy of a creature, except it's also a shapeshifter rogue in addition to its other types. So this is pretty important. So that gives us another rogue into our mix as well from the party mechanic. Or we can have it enter tapped, and that would be an additional island. Then we got Brazen Borrower here, another opportunity to have a rogue. We got Petty Theft as its instant adventure, where we can return target non-land permanent an opponent controls to its hand. And then additionally, we get that Flash Flyer with 3/1, but it can only block flyers. We have Linvala, Shield of the Seagate. We already talked about this one. Again, really heavy. So great ways to fill things out here under 3, and we want to be able to do that so we can turn 4 into squad commander if possible. So this guy is definitely closing matches for us. It's a creature core warrior. When it enters the battlefield, we get to create a 1/1 white core warrior token for each creature in our party, and then at the beginning of combat on our turn, if we have a full party of creatures we control, get +1/+0 and gain indestructible until end of turn. So very powerful. We have Legion Angel here. So again, a nice one of where we can pull from our sideboard. It's got flying. When it enters, we may reveal a card from outside the game that's got the same name, Legion Angel, and put that card into our hand. Then we got good old Journey to Oblivion. So an ability to lock things down here with this enchantment. That costs 1 less to cast for each creature in our party. So if we do have that party of 4, it's only going to cost us 1 planes. When it enters the battlefield, we get to exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. Then we have Tezri, Beacon of Unity. So hold on tight here because we'll come back to the lands. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in our party again, and then we can either pay each mana source outside the planes for 1, or we can pay 2, and we get a look at the top 6 of our library. We may reveal up to 2 cleric, rogue, warrior, wizard, and or ally cards from among them and put them into our hand. Put the rest on the bottom in our library in a random order. So very powerful there, and a huge body that we can get relatively quickly. Then we got Makindi Mesas. So here's another mortal land. It can enter in tapped as a plains, or for 5 we can pay and get +2/+2 for all our creatures. So a nice little closer and finisher there if we need to. And then another one here with Emiria's Shattered Skyclave or Emiria's Call. We get that pain land idea where we can have it enter and pay 3 life, or we can have it enter tapped, and if we pay the 3 it will come in untapped. And then additionally here we have the Call, so another good finisher or closer card where we get 2 4/4 Angel Warrior tokens, and then non-Angel Warrior or non-Angel creatures we control gain indestructible until the next turn. So very powerful there. A pretty sweet party. I must say, I'm very excited to play this one. And again, seeing a nice mechanic coming out of Zendikar Rising being competitive here. So as I mentioned, we'll talk about the modals here. So we got each of these ones here, and what's really important is that's to fill out Tezri. So you're going to hang on to these. You can play around it if you need to. We want to lead with the blue and the white as much as we can, but then obviously as we need to, we'll hit what we need to fill out the stuff that we need for Tezri. So very cool and well thought out there, absolutely. Next, into the sideboard, For our best of 3 matches here, we do have Sentinel's Eyes, so this is enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +1/+1, has vigilance. We can exile 2 other cards from our graveyard and bring it back with its escape. I would play this against Rogues decks. I would play this against Mill decks. You know, it might not make a bad card also against some of the aggro stuff, to be honest. Mid-range to late game, you're going to want to really get the bodies on the board, so this might help you there. You could play it against Rakdos Sacrifice, or sorry, Rakdos mid-range as well, so anything that is making you discard cards out of your hands, you may want to do that. We got good old Containment Priest here, so this is flash. If a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it wasn't cast, exile it instead. You're going to play this against the Obosh Temur Ultimatum decks, those kinds of things. This is going to be really important for you because they're not cast creatures or any deck running Ultimatum for that. You could do the Sultai one as well. Those kinds of things. This is going to help you out a bunch in terms of keeping those off the board. And obviously other decks that you could play this where they're trying to cheat things in. Then we got Drannith Magistrate. So here, our opponents can't cast spells from anywhere other than their hands. So great against adventure decks. So these might be the Temur Obosh decks. You could play this against Gruul aggro. You can play this against Selesnya. You can adventures. Lots of anything running adventures. This one's going to work well on. Additionally, anyone that's trying to cheat graveyard cards as well. Lurrus as well. These are all good ones to play Drannith Magistrate against. Then we got Essence Scatter, so counter target creature spell. I would play this against aggro decks, Mono Red, Gruul aggro, Boros Warriors, the Boros Knights, Mardu Knights, lots of different spots for this one as well. And then obviously anything that you might run into that's really powerful on the creature side, you could play this against like Mono Green Food as well, or Mono Green Stompy. Then we got Thieving Skydiver. So this is a pretty cool card. It's a Merfolk Rogue. It's also got flying. It's got a kicker here. X can't be 0, but when it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, we gain control of target artifact with convert mana cost X or less. And if it was an equipment, we get to attach it to Thieving Skydiver. You could play this against things like Mono Red. You could play it against the Great Henge as well. So there's lots of good spots that you could end up playing this. And then obviously anything that is running artifacts, you can definitely and most certainly play this, particularly against the equipment ones. Very, very nice and thought out. Or if you just need something else to go over the top with the flyer, not a bad one as well. Then we got good old Idol of Endurance. So I really like this card. When it enters the battlefield, we get to exile all creature cards with converted mana cost 3 or less from our graveyard until Idol of Endurance leaves the battlefield. And then we can pay 2 and tap it until end of turn. We may cast a creature spell from among those that was exiled with Idol of Endurance without paying for its mana cost. So this is going to be good against Rogues decks, good against Mill decks. Also, I would consider playing it against some late game decks. Anything that's also potentially board wiping, not a bad one to play against as well. Then we got good old Mystical Dispute. So this is our slip, our counter spell here. The spell costs 2 less to cast if it targets a blue spell, and then counter target spell unless its controller plays 3. Essentially, I would actually play this against a lot of late game decks, but absolutely against anything blue you're going to want to throw in there. So Rogues decks, Mill decks. This works well against the Yorion decks. Great spot for those. And then anything running Doom, I wouldn't mind playing this as well. Could be very, very helpful. Then we got the Legion Angels, so we already talked about that. One thing that you could always do is pull an extra one in here and split it to kind of open up the opportunity to pull from that sooner. And then last but not least, we have Shatter the Sky. So each player who controls a creature card with power 4 or greater draws a card and then destroys all creatures. So works well. So for instance, if we have a full party of creatures we control, gain indestructible till end of turn. So you could always play this and get the board and then wipe it. You could also play Linvala and then wipe it. So where would I play this? I'd play this against any creature-based decks. Aggro to mid-range, this could be against rogue stacks, those kinds of things. So that's a pro tip, so keep that in mind because a lot of people are going to forget that. And that's going to be very, very crucial for you to essentially flip the board. Or if you have Idol of Endurance that you're running as well and you can play your stuff back, that's not a bad one to test out. All right, Planeswalkers. So that is the sideboard. We are now going to talk about how we're going to sideboard for our best of 3 matches, and we'll talk about it from the aggro, the mid-range, and the late game. So we kind of covered the one-offs with the rogues a little bit, but outside that, let's kind of chat about aggro decks. Otherwise, you could play Sentinel's Eyes if you wanted to. You could play Drath Magistrate, Containment Priest, depending on what you're going to run into. Most likely, to be honest, what I would probably play is Shatter the Sky, as I said, for that board control, flipping things. And then Essence Scatter is a good one, and then Idol of Endurance for some of those late games. And then what I would look to move out is we are running 20 lands. We have a couple of modal lands in here as well, so 4, so that gets us to 24. We have a low curve, so it's not terrible. Really tops out at 4, to be honest. Most of this stuff should cost you less, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. So again, I like the Essence Scatter, I like Idol of Endurance for the late game, and then obviously we talked about some of the blue stuff, and then Shatter the Sky. Where would I look to remove things? This might be enough to kind of change the board for you, but it's going to depend on what they're running. If they're not running a ton of non-creature stuff, I'd actually look to pull this one out and make that will give you 4, and that should give you enough to kind of switch out what you need there, just to kind of protect your game a little bit differently. If they are rogues, you can keep that in there. If you need to manage things and kind of protect against like a mono red aggro deck or Gruul, that might be something you want to keep in there. So a couple of things to consider. The other spot that I would maybe check out or think about flipping something in or out on, you could always, in my opinion, you could always move out a Brazen Borrower as well. Against aggro though, that's helpful to kind of deny a turn, but if you're more focused on the bodies, that's not a bad one to look to. You could also drop 1 Tazri and go 1, or you could drop a Journey to Oblivion if you wanted to as well. So lots of good spots for us to kind of mix and shift things up for the aggro lineup. And then for the mid-range, we talked about that one a little bit. This to me is probably going to potentially be Containment Priest again. It could be Drannith Magistrate. It could be a Mystical Dispute, depending on what you're doing. So again, let's go with 4. You're probably going to keep these ones for the slips. And where would I then look to move things out? You're still going to want to be quick, in my opinion. You could go a little bit lower here on the top end. You could potentially drop a couple journeys because you're not going to hit as many things. The other thing that I would look to, I do like to dig here in the mid-range against some of the lockup. You could always drop 1 Squad Commander or Linvala. If they're not running board wipes, I would then consider dropping Linvala actually, and just keeping this. So that's going to give you a good range and spot to kind of mix things up, depending on what they are running there as well. And then last but not least, the late game. These are mostly going to be the Yorion decks, some of the Doom decks, those kinds of things. If they're running Yorion, you might want the Essence Scatter. You may want to consider, again, Idol of Endurance for some of the later games. If they're not running a lot of creatures, obviously you're not going to need Shatter the Sky, but Mystical Dispute you're probably going to want as well, and then you're probably going to want to keep these. So you're really going to be looking at probably 2 to 4 cards here again. Journey of Oblivion you're going to want against their Doom Foretold. So you're not going to want to cut there. You're probably going to want to keep this. I would actually look to maybe move out a Tazri, and then even again maybe a Squad Commander. Well, Linvala probably instead of Squad Commander, and then Brazen Borrower is going to help you against a Doom. You could also maybe drop a Archpriest of Iona, even though that's pretty powerful and can hit pretty fast early game. That might be a spot where you're going to really try and lock it down in this space and then have some protection. You're going to want to dig with Tazri for sure against some of those decks if you need to, just to kind of keep up and keep pace against some of those Dooms, so you're at least getting two on the board kind of a thing, to kind of keep up there. So Planeswalkers, that is the aggro matchup, that is the mid-range matchup, and the late game matchup, as we discussed. and then that is the main board. So if you do have questions or comments, let me know down below. Yeah, always happy to chat about that. Also in the description is the Discord server information as well. So lots of awesome people hanging out in there. Lots of great questions. So you guys can feel free to hop in there and hang out as well. With that said, Planeswalkers, we're going to go play some competitive Magic. I'm super excited about this deck as I've been already talking about it. So let's hop into it here. I did the Dimmer Flash one yesterday. You guys should check that out. Today we're doing Azorius Party because it is a Zendikar Rising party. All right, Planeswalkers. Now, with that said, as always, I just want to say thank you. I really, truly appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter and Twitch. Stay up to date on daily content like this. Other ways to support the channel, feel free to become a patron. Appreciate the pledges as always. Or you can become a member to the YouTube channel as well. So thank you for that. And then Planeswalkers, again, as I mentioned, as we're sitting here waiting, well, now we got a match. Feel free to hop in the Discord server. Ski Han, we have. Probably said that wrong, but let's go from here. So we got a couple of interesting things. This is actually a really bad hand for us to start because most of the stuff that we have is actually 3 or less. And we want to be having that 1 and 2 drop. So we are definitely going to have to, unfortunately, take a mulligan here. Luckily, I guess, to some extent, we're on the play. Or sorry, on the draw, so we'll get a chance. Now this is better. So we're going to hit a lot of the stuff that we need here. We got the 1, we got the 2, and we got the slip. I'm going to debate on that. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep 6. I'm actually going to drop the glass pool for now. And I'm doing that because I want to keep this the pack beast, and I do want to keep the slip because the slip could really help me. We'll see though. All right, so we do have a rogue stack. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. That would have been a nice one to have. So we don't have to worry about them countering turn 2 here. Well, unless they're playing the non-typical rogue stack. So we'll see. But what I'll play is I'll play Luminarch onto an Archpriest Iona for an additional +1/+1 counter. Potentially, we'll see. I might throw it on Luminarch Aspirant though, but then if they do hit that, we're going to be in a worse spot. This one isn't bad to put in here either though. And then next turn we can actually play Miria's Call and then play Luminarch. A lot of people don't know what this deck does either, so it's going to be a slightly, obviously, off-meta deck, so they're going to be taking some time to kind of figure out what's going on here. That was pretty big, actually. I'm surprised that they did that. Wow, they're really going for it here. Pay the 3. So right now I only got a slip for 2, which is a bummer. That is a bummer. and we can't slip it. Oh, man. Oh, man. That we can cover though. There we go. There we go. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Does that give him enough to draw? Oh. That would have been so good for us, my friends. So, so good. That's a bummer. That would have been... Linvala would have been game-changing for us there. So it's a dimir control deck, mostly. Alright, so now we got all of our manas. We got all of our manas. Ski Han. Single trading everything. Uh-oh. Oh, we don't want that. We don't want that. I need creatures. I need creatures. Bummer, bummer, bummer. They had enough control to hold us down. But we got all the mana, so you can definitely do it. It did not work out well in our favor. But that is how it goes. That is a tough matchup either way, and we did take a mulligan. So if we would have had that one extra card, we might have been able to play it a little bit better or differently there, Planeswalkers. All right, so let's go ahead into our next best of one match. Maybe things will be a little bit more better for us. All right, into the next one, Azorius Party. Again, we kind of see some of the components. Our good stuff did end up getting milled out. We lost the Linvalas. If we could have had that, that would have been a totally different matchup for sure. But that is how it goes. All right, so this is a little bit better start. We got some of the stuff that we need. We'll keep this. Definitely gonna look first here. Actually, we will go this first. So we got a Marduk deck, it looks like so far. Ooh, there we go. The Shrine deck. We got the Shrine deck, my friends. Alright, what's blue? We don't have blue there. Here's our blue. I'm doing this one first. Get rid of that. We only need one. So now all we need to do is we can continue. So we got our slip. That will block. Ho, 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 ho. So we can make them pay 3. Ooh. 4. We're okay. It's 4. Ooh. Hoo, 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 hoo. We gotta keep this because we'll need to discard if we need to. Ooh, there we go. Oh, tapping down early. So we can do this. We have lethal 6, 7. It's not gonna matter. I could sack this and give my guys hexproof so that that did not hit, and that's actually probably the proper play. So we got 3, 6. We could still do the +1/+1, so we'll leave it for now. Boom! There we go. We got the party. Game on, my friends. Awesome. We took down the Shrine deck. We just did one of those. That one ran green, which I like in it. We did not run green in ours, but that is how it goes. That was one of my suggestions for that deck. But anyway, about the Azorius Party deck. We got it off. It worked out really, really nicely. We've been playing decks that have had some destroy single target creatures. Now we're going to move into our best of 3 match, you guys. All right, so traditional standard rank. There's the Dimir Flash deck we did yesterday. You guys can check that out. But we are playing the Azorius Party deck. All right, let's go from here. Now, Planeswalkers, before we decide against Swan Gordon here, I just want to say thank you as always. I appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on daily content like this. Also, other ways to support the channel down below. Feel free to become a patron or become a YouTube member here for the channel. Always appreciate those pledges and support. Additional great benefits and ways to interact together. All right, Planeswalkers, let's go ahead. We'll play first. Ooh, this is a tricky one, but I got the 2. We don't have a 1-drop though, is something I don't like, but we are first. I'm gonna keep it. I do want to play. That's tough. I think I'll play Season first. All right, so we actually have a mono white life gain deck, so this is going to be a little trickier, a little tricky. I'm gonna play the red because that's gonna help here.
And can't be blocked.
So next turn we can actually play Tazri too. Ooh, it's not a mono white deck. It's got red in there. So it's a Warriors deck, maybe. Alright, here we go. We'll get rid of Tazri. Not bad, not bad. So we gotta keep our nimble. We do have our Legion Angel. So the problem though is we have all warriors here. If we can get one more land, we'll be sitting pretty good. There we go. Oh, that is so tempting. It is so tempting, but the right play is Legion's Angel here. Seven, 10. we'll dump our other squad. Alright, there we go. So we have lethal. So we just gotta see what they're gonna play. If they have cleave, we're done. They may very well have cleave. They have enough for cleave too. So if they certainly attack and they have cleave. Do I want to lose Legion? I don't. We are close. We're very close. So right now, we can get they'll block 2. So we have 4. So if they block 2, they'll block here, and they'll block here. That's lethal. Either way. Boom! There we go. Woo. Woo. Alright, so we know that they have some burn there. We need to think about how we want to do this. So, Thieving Skydiver, we're absolutely playing here. I will play... an Idol. Don't need any of those. Shatter the Sky is not going to be bad. Counter Creature and those 2 we may need. So let's do this. We're going to go a little bit lighter. There. Brazen will pop off. Pull Invala. Let's go 1 Tazri, 1 Commander. That gives me 3. Let's drop. Actually, let's drop those because we got the regular slips. And then let's put a Linvala back in. We could go that. We'll do that. Okay. So, squad, Legion, McKindy. Alright, let's try this. Even though it worked out fine for us the first time, the slips could have worked. They did have enough stuff, I guess. Oh, man. I'll keep this. I'm keeping it because we got the colors. I'm keeping it because we got the 2s and the 3s here. There we go. Uh-oh. Well, we might need that sooner rather than later. I'll have to think about it. So next turn, if they don't get Linvala off, we'll actually get Party with Linvala and Nimble Trapfinder. If they don't get Trapfinder off either. We're not going to block, we'll take the damage. Perfect. So we can go Cleric. I'm going to stick it on here because I can give everything indestructible and wipe the board. Nice. If we get Squad Commander down, we'll be set. Boom. Oh. So beautiful. So beautiful. We'll keep that. Now there's no reason to blow that up. almost have lethal. Oh, we did it. We got everything off with this deck. It was awesome. Super, super awesome today. Clean, nice, well played. We lost to the Dimir control deck. We did great against the following two, best of one and our best of three. Super, super fun. Very, very smooth, my friends. All right. So let's go ahead here and check out the deck again. Very, very nice, as I mentioned, a super fun one for Zendikar Rising here. Something that I think anyone could easily kind of move into as a nice deck to be somewhat competitive and move forward in learning as well. So Planeswalkers, here again is the deck. Very, very nice. Azorius Party worked out well in competitive today. So super, super fun. Lots of cool little nuances and things. I had that board wipe ready to go too. Was excited to do that. Probably would have screwed up and wiped my own deck, but no, I'm just kidding. We had Indestructible. We were good. We had Linvala. We had a lot of great things. So I hope you guys enjoy this deck as much as I did. Here's the sideboard. We did talk about how to do some of those things. We didn't get Thieving Skydiver to go, but it was so close. Either way. Planeswalkers, again, if you do have questions or comments, let me know down below. Always happy to answer those. As I mentioned, this is a nice one to play in terms of kind of starting out and in terms of Zendikar Rising. If this was your first main block, everything primarily comes from it. It's really, really nice, except for a couple uncommons here and minus Brazen, but a lot of things that you could switch out and make it work. So super, super fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would recommend this definitely as a newer deck for those of you starting out. So Planeswalkers, anyway, as always, last here again, I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate your support. Please feel free to subscribe to the channel down over there. Additionally, like the video if you like it. You can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and Twitch, stay up to date on daily content like this. Other ways to support the channel down below in the description. Feel free to hop on the Discord channel, hang out with us. Always appreciate the patrons as well as the members. Really do you guys. It helps a lot. So all right, Planeswalkers, we'll see you again soon. You stay safe, you take care, enjoy this party deck as much as I did. I had a lot of fun and it was great to be able to show you guys everything with it today. All right, Planeswalkers, until next time, I'll see you soon. Mythras out, and stay safe, take care, and adieu.